Orion is proudly sponsored by Gecko Cards, your go-to store for all things Yu-Gi-Oh! Check out the link in the description for great deals, fast shipping, and to help us out.
What's up, duelists? Welcome back to Team Orion. I'm Chris, and today I will be showing off my Exosister deck for Yu-Gi-Oh! Genesys. This is what I recently picked up as an option with the current OCG Genesys list. I hope they don't bring it to TCG, otherwise this is going to be pretty much irrelevant. But for now, TCG, still really good deck going into the format. Without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So we will... Oh, my apologies. We will start with the main deck. So for Exosister names, we've got Free Martha, main playmaker of the deck. If you control no monsters or only Xyz, you summon this, and Exosister Ellis. So it's pretty much a free rank 4. You can only go into Exosisters, but 99% of the time that's what you're doing anyways. Then you've got Free Alice. If you control an Exosister, you can special this from hand. So even if you summon one off Martha, you can still summon an Alice from hand. Then I'm playing Free Exosister Stella, where during my main phase I can special an Exosister from my hand. Then if I control Alice, which I usually do, I gain 800 life. All the Exosister main deck monsters have the same effect, where if a card is moved out of either graveyard, you can special summon an Exosister Xyz by using one of these you control. Then playing one Sophia, one Irene. These two don't really come up as much as the others because these 9 encapsulate themselves. You still play these just for the names. That's pretty much it. Then going into the non-engine or the spirit monsters. So we're playing free Saori Hime, free Aratama, free Sakitama. So Hime, if you control any Exosister and it is in your hand, you activate this effect, immediately normal summon this. Then you can add a light or dark with 800 attack or defense. It can be an Aratama, it can be any Exosister name. It's a shock how this is actually sort of low points. Then Aratama, when it's normal summoned, add a spirit. So it usually adds Sakitama, or you could add the Hime. Then Sakitama's just reveal it from hand, just normal itself, or normal either of these two. It's just a free level 4 extender. Then going into the non-engine monsters, we're just playing 3 Herald, the orange light, and 2 green light. Monster negate, destroy, spell negate and destroy. We have so many fairies with the spirit monsters, you pretty much have to play these. You could argue you could bump up the green light to 3, but I feel like I bricked on it a bit too much with both of them being at 3, and monster effects are more prevalent than spells. Then for the Exosister spells, playing 3 Betrayal, 3 Pax, 1 Returnia, 1 Vadis. Betrayal's an amazing card for this deck. You activate it, it's a continuous spell, add 2 Exosisters from deck to hand, then discard a card. So you just add any 2 names that you want, even Martha. You target a face-up monster you control immediately after it resolves, normal summon an Exosister that's mentioned on it. So, say for example, I have Martha that summoned Ellis. If I have a Stella in hand, if I have a Stella in hand, I can go Betrayal, target the Ellis, summon Stella, then Stella can summon another Exosister from my hand. So not too bad. Then if a monster is sent to an opponent's graveyard, even during damage step, we can make them banish one of them. So we can proc all the main deck Exosister effects. Then Pax. During the main phase, pay 800, add any Exosister card from deck to hand except for itself. Then if I add a monster, I can special it if the Exosister monster mentioned on it is in my field or grave. Usually it is, so you can add Betrayal, for example, you can add Returnia Valius, or any Exosister name you want to special summon. Then Returning Invaders, this is usually what you're setting to try and disrupt your opponent. Returnia, if all my monsters I control are Exosisters, I pay 800, target a card my opponent controls or in grave banishment, then I can immediately Exceed into an Exosister by using monsters I control. Or if I've already Exceeded this turn, I can banish a card my opponent controls non-target. Varys just allows me to summon 2 Exosisters from my deck. So, say for example, if I know I've got Betrayal up, I can use Varys, get 2 names. Then if they send a monster to grave at any point, I can banish it, then proc them 2 names to go into more Xyz. For non-engine spells, we are playing 3 Chalice just because it's effect negation, 3 Small World. These should be 7th Tachyons in my opinion, they're 0 points. I just currently don't own them. But I'll talk about in the extra deck what I would replace for the 7th Tachyon. Then 2 Cosmic, because Cosmic's still really good. With Radiant Typhoon being part of the Genesys meta, I will probably not be playing MST. So for the extra deck, playing 2 Asophiel, can't be destroyed by the activated effects of monsters summoned from grave. If it's summoned by using an Exosister as material, neither effect. It's basically, this is Abyss Dweller. Neither player can activate effects in the grave this turn, and you can usually summon this during your opponent's turn by, like Varys returning any of the small names. Carmyle. So this is one of the newer ones. If it's XC summoned, you can, during the end phase, set a Exosister spell or trap from deck, grave, or banishment. It's also a monster or normal spell trap replacement effect. So the effect will be add 1 card from your opponent's grave to their hand. So usually if we're doing it on like opponent's monster effect, we will add 1 of our cards from our grave to our hand, then that procs all of the Exosisters. Mikalis, one of the main cards for the deck. If this card was XC summoned this turn by using Exosister as material, you can target 1 card, field or grave, banish it, proc in all the smaller Exosisters. You also detach material from this card to add an Exosister, spell or trap from deck to hand, such as Betrayal, such as Pax. You usually end up summoning this 100% of the time. Then 2 Magnifica, usually using 2 of the Exosisters that have already used their effects this turn, such as like a Mikalis and one of the other smaller ones. Detach a material from this card, banish a card your opponent controls non-target. Then if your opponent activates a card or effect, you can return one of the ones that are attached to it to the extra deck, then you can summon that Xyz monster on top of Magnifica. It's a lot of disruption, a lot of just to get out of the way. Then playing 1 Jabreen, 1 Caspatel. So Caspatel is that newer player can special summon monsters from the graveyard for the rest of this turn. So if you summon it during your opponent's turn, they can't summon out of the grave. Then you detach material from this card, add an Exosister monster from deck to hand. So usually you summon both Mikalis and Caspatel, go into Magnifica. Jabreen, it just doesn't really come up as much as I want it to, but it is a target effect monster your opponent controls, negates effects until the end of his turn. It is a negate, but I nearly don't summon it enough. Then for other rank 4s, we're playing Castel, Diamond Direwolf. This is the card I'd argue would probably be my replacement with number 104 Masquerade or something to that effect to be able to search all of my monsters for 7th Tachyon. Exeter Knight, number 101 Silent Honor Arc, and Tornado Dragon. All of these rank 4s are 0 points. That's the reason why we're playing them pretty much. I don't think I'd swap. Like, the only thing I would probably swap is the Diamond Dire Wolf. But you guys can let me know in the description what you guys think. Then finally for side deck, as you've seen, with no synchros or anything, we're not playing Ultimate Slayer. Playing 3 Dark Hole just to blow up our opponent's board. 3 Dark Ruler so we can make sure to negate their effects before we blow up on the board. Dimension Fissure because it's 0 points and we don't actually care about that much about stuff going to grave. Twin Twisters just in case Cosmic Cyclone isn't enough. Then 3 Master Restrict because Monarch is still in this game. Overall, I find it a very fun deck to try and play in Genesys. There's so much that you can do, so much you can fight against. But let us know what you think. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you tune into another Team Orion video. See you guys later.